The Chicago Bears season has been wasted by Matt Eberflus. I've been waiting on this one for a very long time because I've seen all the Caleb Williams hate, from the report of the teammates wanting him to be benched at a certain point in time to them not helping him up a couple weeks ago against the New England Patriots. I'm ready to fire off because this entire situation is on Matt Eberflus and really the front office as a whole. Matt Eberflus has been a terrible head coach over the last few years with the Chicago Bears, but no one really wanted to talk about it. They just wanted to blame Justin Fields the same way that people came out and blamed Mr. Trubisky when the Chicago Bears did not have that much success, even though they went to the NFL playoffs. Now, Mr. Trubisky is a bust. He's not a good quarterback. Justin Fields is still up in the air. But when I look at this Caleb Williams situation, this kid is special. They went out there, they fired Shane Waldron. For one, that is supposed to be a fireable offense for the head coach. This is your second offensive coordinator. You hired Luke Getsy, who is one of the worst offensive coordinators in NFL history. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that. The screen man himself, he continued to call screens over and over again on third down to where Justin Fields would abandon the screen call and he'll just take off and run with it. If it wasn't for Justin Fields' legs, that offense would have been worse. So he goes out there, he fired Luke Getsy. Luke Getsy was such a good offensive coordinator, guys. He went over there to the Las Vegas Raiders and he got fired at the halfway point of this season. That's how good of an offensive mind he is. And he may never have another coaching job in the NFL. He goes out there, he brings in Shane Waldron, who was the former offensive play caller for the Seattle Seahawks. He did very good work with Geno Smith, but it's the reason why the Seattle Seahawks did not want to bring him back. His last year with the Seahawks was terrible, but yet you bring him in with your rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams. You reset your clock. You move off of Justin Fields. Remember, Matt Eberflus was not the head coach that drafted Justin Fields. That was Matt Nagy. So Matt Eberflus has Caleb Williams, a generational prospect. Now, to some, myself included, I think Caleb Williams has potential to be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. For others, they hate on Caleb Williams because he paints his fingernails and because he acts a little bit different. I don't care about that. How do you perform on the field? That's all I care about. In the last 2 weeks, this kid has done everything that he can do to get this team over the hump. I understand against the New England Patriots, he had a bad day, but that was with terrible play calling. And you have all the analysts come out when he's holding on to the football for too long. No one is getting open. They're not scheming anyone open. Shane Waldron did not have the capability to do that. Thomas Brown immediately sees, hey, Caleb Williams has some decent wheels on him. He can go outside. He can make plays on his own. Let's run Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams last week went out there and had 70 rushing yards, and it opened up the run game with DeAndre Swift, who has 71 rushing yards. He averaged 5 yards a carry with 1 rushing touchdown. And the run game has been very inconsistent this year because for the first 5 weeks of the season, they're not able to get the run game going. And you look at Thomas Brown in just one half, forget the whole game, going into halftime, they got DJ Moore to football, DeAndre Swift to football, and Rome Odunze. And Caleb Williams was getting the football out of his hand quicker because guys were getting open and it was designed to help out a rookie quarterback. And Caleb Williams gets them into field goal range and the kicker has his field goal attempt blocked. I'm not going to blame the kicker here. You could have ran a couple more plays so he has less yardage to deal with from the head coach, but Matt Eberflus did not want to do that. And before you question that statement, Bill Belichick has done that to help the kicker out. Mike Tomlin has done that to help his kicker out. And the same with Andy Reid. They have all done that, even when it's just a couple of seconds left. Just go out there, run the football, tell the running back to go down. You take your time out. They still had timeouts remaining, but Matt Eberflus is a defensive head coach. So the same players that leaked out, hey, we want Caleb Williams to be benched the offensive lineman that allowed that kicker field goal attempt to get blocked. And you look at today's matchup against the Minnesota Vikings, so many miscues. It was a punt return debacle. The Vikings basically pushed the Bears player into the football. He touched the football. By NFL rules, hey, if the Vikings get on top of it, they now have possession. And that is what happened. Terrible coaching and terrible awareness by the player. It's a two-way street over here. We blame the coaches a lot, but sometimes the players do a lot of dumb things on the field. Goes out there, you can just run out of bounds and just get away from the football. He's close to the football. The Vikings are right there in the red zone. They go out there and they score off of it. That's not on Caleb Williams. And guess what else happened in this game? The kicker had his field goal attempt blocked also. Yet again. So the same ones that wanted Caleb Williams to be benched on the team, let's bench some of these offensive linemen. You see how that works? Matt Eberflus. Now, this is the part where I want to get into him because they lost today's matchup by a lot of miscues. He's supposed to be this defensive guru, a man that's supposed to go out there and find ways to make the defense better, no matter what the talent is. This was a man that went out there and said, hey, if we had a better pass rusher, they went out there, they brought in Montez Sweat to help the defense turn a corner. And he did. Last season, Montez Sweat was phenomenal. Now, this season, he's not having the same impact, but he's still a very good pass rusher. You look in the opposite side of today's matchup. Sam Darnold got sacked 3 times. DeMarcus Walker was in his lap the entire game because Cam Robinson was out at the left tackle position. They're already without Christian Darrisaw, who's a very good tackle, but he's out for the rest of the season. Sam Darnold had 330 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Aaron Jones had 106 rushing yards and had 1 rushing touchdown. He averaged 5 yards a carry. 5 yards a carry against a defensive guru and Matt Eberflus. That's why he has this job, because the defensive work he has been able to do in the past as a linebackers coach. This is a defense that has Tremaine Edmonds and TJ Edwards. They're getting ran on and getting passed on over and over again. They were down big in this matchup, but yet Caleb Williams comes out. He's unfazed. He's getting the football to DJ Moore. He's getting the football to Keenan Allen. And I will also say this, it's more than just Caleb Williams going out there and doing his thing. I will give Thomas Brown a lot of credit because he has been a better coach in these last 2 weeks than Matt Eberflus has ever been for the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams today was 32 of 47 for 340 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, got sacked 3 times. And he was the leading rusher with 33 rushing yards because DeAndre Swift only had 30 rushing yards because you're going against the best rushing defense in the NFL with the Minnesota Vikings. But yet you still only lost this game by 3 points. They can't win the close football games. And for the people that want to blame Caleb Williams, it is similar to what happened many weeks ago with that Hail Mary against the Washington Commanders. He's getting them into the goal line situation over and over again. Shane Waldron comes out there. He calls a run up the middle with the offensive lineman, and he fumbles the football at the 1. And they still got a touchdown late in the game. And a Hail Mary attempt that was successful with Jaden Daniels. That's not on Matt Eberflus. That was Tyreek Stevenson talking to a fan. He got over late. We know about that whole situation. Then they went against the Arizona Cardinals. Matt Eberflus was so afraid of the Hail Mary with Kyler Murray. He calls off coverage, 3-man deep Hail Mary coverage. They just run the football for a 58-yard touchdown right before halftime. Just giving up free points. Just giving it to them like it's no tomorrow. Easy points. That's Matt Eberflus. That's his coaching. That's not on Thomas Brown. That's not on Shane Waldron at that point. That's not on Caleb Williams. That's not on DeAndre Swift. That's not on any offensive player. That's on him. He is putting defensive players into bad spots. This is a defense that has Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson, Montez Sweat, DeMarcus Walker, Darrell Taylor, and they can't stop the run. And their rushing defense has not been good all season long. In the past, it has been good. Last season, they had one of the best rushing defenses in the NFL. But this isn't last season. This is this season. He should have been fired with Shane Waldron for hiring the 2 busted coordinators. And if they're not going to fire Matt Eberflus, you should also fire Ryan Poles. I know that he's done a lot of good things with the Chicago Bears. With the draft picks going out there and making that trade with the Carolina Panthers, it is what it is. You can't find the right head coach. This is a franchise that has always had offensive problems. For decades after decades, they cannot figure it out. But I see the potential that Caleb Williams has. I see the offensive line. They're not as bad as you would think on paper. For the first half of this season, this man Shane Waldron has them running long developing routes deep down the field with a rookie quarterback. And when you compare Caleb Williams to Bo Nix and Jaden Daniels, yes, he may not be on the same level as them right now, statistical wise. But he's finding ways to go out there and get them the football. He's making amazing plays. He's starting to throw across his body like how he did at USC. And Thomas Brown, it seems like he has a better connection with him because he is catering to his strengths instead of making Caleb Williams something that he's not right now. At the end of the day, he is a rookie, and he does deserve some of the blame. He was holding on to the football for too long. He's just not blameless in this. But these losses, they're not on him. This is a coaching problem that the Chicago Bears have. They had a coaching problem with Justin Fields, with Matt Nagy. They fired him. They had a coaching problem last year with Matt Eberflus. You still have the same problem. You have been through 3 quarterbacks in the first round over the last 5 years, 5 to 10 years. At some point, it's not the quarterbacks. What are you doing in your organization? And today's NFL, it really pisses me off to see how fast that certain people are willing to move off of a quarterback because they're not doing good at the halfway point of the freaking season. Caleb Williams had 3 to 4 good games in a row. Then when they went against elite level competition with better coaching, all of a sudden, Caleb Williams, he's a bust. He's not living up to potential. Look at Jaden Daniels. Look at Bo Nix. Even though they're dealing with better coaches, more established coaches in the NFL. Dan Quinn, you can say what you want to say about him. They did have a tough loss there against the Dallas Cowboys. That man has been to a freaking Super Bowl before in his career and has had many successful seasons with the Atlanta Falcons and has been an actual successful defensive coordinator with the Seattle Seahawks. So he's proven in the NFL. Sean Payton has won a Super Bowl. He helped develop Drew Brees and help the New Orleans Saints have many good years underneath his belt. Those are the situations those rookies were put into. But a lot of people just look at names. They just look at DJ Moore. They just look at Keenan Allen and Rome Odunze, and they say, hey, Caleb Williams has a super team, when it's more than just names. It's a super team on paper over there with the New York Jets, and look at them. I actually like the Bears ownership. I think the ownership, when it comes to drafting certain players, they do a very good job of it. In the past, in the 80s and the 90s, sure. But they can't figure out this offensive problem. I think that she needs to come in and basically clean house. I like Ryan Poles, but if he is not willing to go out there and fire his friend, Matt Eberflus, he should go as well. These are terrible losses for the Chicago Bears, and they're losing close games over and over again. It comes down to coaching. That Hail Mary should have never happened. That block kick a week ago should have never happened. They should have never been in this situation in today's game. How they lost against the New England Patriots and they were not able to score an offensive touchdown, that should have never happened. They should have had all of these things tucked in. And this is the same organization that gave Caleb Williams a playbook right after he got drafted, to give him a head start in the playbook, a busted playbook that was never going to work with him in this system. Matt Eberflus is a terrible head coach. They should fire him, and Thomas Brown should be the interim head coach. Because at least over the last 2 weeks, even though it's been a short sample size, he's been the best coach on this roster. Easily. And I don't care that Matt Eberflus called defensive plays. Let him go. It can't get any worse. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. And they're not going to even make the NFL playoffs this season. They don't even look competitive against certain teams. I just told you, they didn't even score an offensive touchdown against one of the worst teams in the NFL, the New England Patriots. And they also had a terrible loss against the Arizona Cardinals. With the talent that you have, you're supposed to be in those games, or at least beating those teams. But right now, the narrative is going to be, hey, Caleb Williams loses yet another game for the Caleb Williams haters. And for the actual people that pay attention, and the Chicago Bear fans that know and have been calling for Matt Eberflus to lose his job over the last few years, especially after last season, they understand and they know. Because we can even go back to last year at the middle point of the season. If Justin Fields was able to go out there and stay fully healthy, they're making a playoff push at the middle point of the season. Believe it or not, was it realistic? You can make that argument. But you look at some of the dumb play calls and some of the dumb decisions by Matt Eberflus, it held them back. They blame Justin Fields. They blame Mr. Trubisky. In this situation, Caleb Williams is going to be your franchise quarterback for the next few years, whether you like it or not. Because some people still believe that Justin Fields would be here. You build this super team. You go out there, build those pieces. It doesn't matter if you don't have the right coach. And Matt Eberflus is not the right coach. And as soon as they get rid of Matt Eberflus, the better. But let me know in the comment section below, how do you guys feel about this situation with Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, want each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for the video, guys. God bless.